So yeah, obviously we have had the fundraiser. They finalised it on Friday, I believe. So they've raised £36 million. I believe, from what I've researched, 4.75 million of that was invested by ABB. So this is the tweet that I got the 4.75 million from. This morning, AFC Energy is pleased to announce the expansion of its strategic partnership with ABB, a subscription to raise 4.5 million from the commercial partners and placing to raise 30.25 million, which will conclude later today. So that's why I believe ABB have invested 4.75 million. And we just got a load of retweets. So here we are. We are pleased to announce the appointment of Gary Bourmond as our non-executive chair with immediate effect. Please read more on Mr. Bulwood's appointment here. So we'll have a quick look at that because the rest of it's all about Extreme E. And we've already covered all of that. So again, I'll put the descriptions below. I'll just cover the basis. I've just read that bit. He succeeds John Rennox, who retired from the board after the company annual general meeting on the 14th of April after 4 years as chair. Mr. Bullard is an experienced chairman, non-executive director and executive with a successful international career in the industry and information technology industries. His board level experiences include his work with companies in the scale up of high volume manufacturing supporting high value, high growth businesses in the commercialization of technologies across a range of sectors. Again, if you want to read that, I'm poor at reading, so I won't bother with that. I'll just quickly go back and see if there's any more news. I think that's pretty much covered it. But it's good to see that this new guy is experienced in building up companies, basically. That's obviously a strategic move on AFC's behalf. So let's have a look at Yahoo. So we finished the day on, where did we finish today? Finished the day on 69p. Not great, not the worst. So we're down by 0.86%. You'll see here the lowest was 66p and we had a high of 71p. Yesterday was better news. I think we went up to 74p. So it's a bit of a roller coaster at the moment until, we get some more money basically, or some more contracts. But yeah, I'm expecting it to go down even more than that, and then it will probably go back up to about the 80p mark and then back down again. It's going to be a bit of a yo-yo for the next 6 months, I reckon. So yeah, that's all of it, guys. So I will leave you with the interview with Proactive.
Hello there, good morning. You're watching Proactive London. Joining us today is Adam Bond here because we are going to be discussing the latest news from AFC Energy, of course. But before we do that, obviously last time you had a very exotic background behind you from Saudi Arabia for Extreme E. What a fantastic trip you must have had. Maybe tell us briefly a little bit about it, if you would please, Adam. And a warm welcome this morning.
Morning, Katie. Yeah, it was an amazing trip, and yes, certainly the background now is not as exotic as it was a couple of days ago. But we've just all the guys have got back now from Extreme E, the first race in Alula a couple of weeks ago over the Easter break, and amazing spectacle, amazing backdrop, lots of exciting racing, and as importantly for us is we had a very successful trip in charging race vehicles with our hydrogen fuel cells. So. All part of the goal and objectives of the Extreme E racing to provide zero emissions power for in remote off-grid locations, and so very successful and very happy with the results of that.
Good stuff, fantastic. And as you say, there was some 200 million people watching worldwide. Marketing-wise, brilliant.
Yeah.
Let's move on because I want to talk about the news of the day that you've deepened your relationship with ABB, the provider of electric vehicle charge points and electrification and digital technologies, of course, as well. Tell us about this partnership then. So you strengthened it once again.
Yeah, the relationship with ABB now is over 12 months in terms of how long we've been speaking to them. And in December of last year, we announced a collaboration that will see our fuel cell integrated with the ABB EV charging infrastructure for charging cars in remote locations or where the grid is not stable. And so we've been working with them very successfully over the last couple of months on that. And more recently, the opportunity came up through a couple of conversations we've been having over recent months, whereby the global data center market, which accounts for about 2% of the world's energy. It's one of the, as you can imagine, with all of the 5G and autonomous vehicles and everyone working from home using Teams and Zoom calls and so forth, the amount of data that's being consumed and manipulated and managed at the moment is going through the roof. And with that, every Google search has a footprint, carbon footprint. So working with the data center owners, ABB are one of the market leaders in that space. And so we've started a joint development agreement with them to look at how our fuel cell can be integrated into many of the data center sort of locations around the world. And every one of the big hyperscale data center owners, whether it's Microsoft, Google, Apple, Amazon, they're all basically setting very ambitious net zero carbon reduction targets over the next decade or so. And so, where traditionally a diesel generator has been used to back up data centers, they now have to look at alternatives. And working with ABB, we hope to be a key solution to that market.
Got it. And in terms of financially, where does this leave you in terms of giving you more freedom for expansion and investment?
Well, absolutely. One of the things I didn't mention was that ABB, of course, invested into AFC for the first time on Friday as well, cornerstoning an institutional raise that we did on Friday morning. A lot of that funding is really designed to support some of the projects that we're working with them on in terms of the data center and EV charging market. But the broader fundraise, which we concluded at the same time, we raised 36 million. We're really scaling up our operations at the moment, and with scale up. And if any of these projects come off that we're working and talking to ABB and their customers at the moment, the scale up can be quite rapid. And so we need to make sure that we're in a position to capitalize on those opportunities as and when they come through.
And when you say scale up, to what exactly?
Look, I mean, if you look at the diesel generator market worldwide, it's a $25 billion a year market. The off-grid power market is enormous worldwide, and so as we start to see a movement or transition away from diesel, that has to be supplemented with something else. And with our fuel cell, that's the market in which we're targeting at the moment. Not suggesting we're going to be producing $25 billion worth of fuel cells in the next couple of months, but of course, if we're going to become a major player in that space, we have to start scaling up our manufacturing to start meeting the needs of a market that is transitioning from 25 billion pounds or dollars worth of diesel to something that's much more greener and sustainable. And so that's really where we're focusing our attention at the moment.